Good evening, everyone. My name is Baron Wolf, and I'll tell you a little bit more about myself in our introductions. You'll notice on my slides I am stealing my presentation that I did at the Tableau conference in Austin in November. And so there's at least one person, two people here, three people here that were there and may have seen it. So, but I was told to cut it down to about 15 minutes, so bear with me as I went through this morning and deleted a bunch of stuff. I'm really not sure what the next slide is because I deleted a bunch. But I work in the office of the Vice President for Research at the University of Kentucky. And I'll get a little bit into, a lot of my presentation was about decision support theory and decision support, why data is important, why is making decisions with data, why is that important. And those are the types of things that I cut out because I think if you're here, you're probably data geeks or nerds already and value how data informs our decisions and policy and things like that. So quickly, I'll skip over that one. A little bit about research at University of Kentucky. The Vice President oversees all of the offices listed here, so we administer all of the sponsored projects and grants and contracts that come into the university. So we have over $300 million awarded annually that come into the university, and so we oversee those functions of processing those awards, to looking at other sources of funding, things like that, as well as the various centers and institutes there that conduct research on behalf of our faculty and institution. We also are in charge of these core facilities, which a lot of them we probably in the room here don't really know what they do, but in the science area, we manage those facilities. So we use a lot of data to help us inform pricing structures, inform usage. Is one of these core services really being used, or can we take that $2 million piece of equipment and get rid of it and put that money somewhere else? So this is just a quick org structure of our office. The Vice President has several associate vice presidents, all of which are part-time at the university. They are all active researchers, so 50% or some portion of their time and effort is actually spent doing research, and then the other % is doing administrative work. So our Vice President is actually 50-50, and so I'm one of the only actual full-time one FTE in the office that's there every day. When our new Vice President came in a few years ago, she was asked a lot of questions from the President about how do we increase our research funding, where are we lacking, where are we going? And she said, well, how do I get this data? Where do I get this data from? And it was really difficult, and so for her to get, because we have a homegrown system where we manage this information. And so she created this role, a decision support specialist. So I've been there. In October, it's been a year. So I came in and pretty much she said, learn these systems and get me data that I need. So, so really quickly about decision support, we make decisions every day. There's a lot of words that we can describe how we make decisions. We might have a problem. We might have a goal we want to get to, a sales goal, a retention goal, an enrollment goal, or some process we want to change. And we can take a right turn or a left turn. We could go the right direction, the wrong direction. But using data helps us inform which way we go. So being data informed, and this is kind of washed out, hopefully you can read it. But being data informed includes our past experiences, so taking what we already know, our own intuition in our experiences, judgment, and then using tests to test those intuitions and those thoughts to give us data, right? And then that data gets cycled back into the system to inform the next experiment that we do to help inform the policy, the process, whatever it might be. And so where we were when I started. At the University of Kentucky, our grants and contract database, which is called the OSPA database, it's managed in the Office of Sponsored Projects, is a homegrown Microsoft SQL server database. I am not a technical person, by the way, so I love Tableau because I'm not a programmer, so the drag and drop is something that I really like. And so a lot of the terms that I might use, I really don't know. You know, I know what SQL is. Do I write it? No. So, so bear with me if I say something inaccurate. But we have a homegrown data system that was created years ago by one person. That person is still an employee and still manages it. But the question always comes up, what happens when that person leaves? You know, the institutional knowledge goes away. And so not only that, but it's built on some older systems. You know, decision makers need quick access to data and information. And if those same decision makers are non-technical, or they employ people like me who are non-technical, how do we get those data out? And so this is one software that we use to get data out of our data system. It's called InfoMaker. I was on the job and was told to try to learn to use it to pull custom reports, and I said, no way. We have a thing called Tableau at the institution. I'll pull everything out of Tableau. And so basically, since I've been there, it's been getting our research information systems or services office on board with that, of giving me access to the database to help do that. This here is an example of one of our reports. So when we have data systems that are older and they take a lot of technical expertise to get data out, we create standard reports, right? So a monthly report maybe, or a quarterly report is created that some programmer or someone that knows code wrote for us. And then we run those monthly. But for instance, and you may be able to tell or not, I can't. One of the things that bothered me about this report here is that there's no real order to the data and information on this sheet. It's not in alpha order. It's not in numerical order from largest to smallest or whatnot. It's just random. So if you need to define your department and it's randomly, it's hard to find it, right? So it might be a great PDF. It might be a great monthly report. But a decision maker might have said, I needed a trend of information. I wanted a 5-year trend worth of data. And so the way we needed to do that in the past was getting multiple PDF files. And so, you know, one person might send multiple PDF files to the vice president. Well, that really didn't give her the trend line she needed, because now she has to get the data off these spreadsheets to create the trend. Or I have to spend a lot of time making a new Excel table for the information. And so it really didn't work. So where are we going? We're developing a dynamic interactive data portal for research and administration data. So it's interactive, real-time live data access. So we're going to be able to see the data not as of last month or as of expenditure data as of last fiscal year, but we'll be able to see it more regularly on a real-time basis. And we'll be able to reduce time to finding answers to the questions that we need. When the president asks for a question, we need to be able to answer it right away. And it helps us tell our story in a better way. So because we value making decisions using data, we want to be data ready. And so, using antiquated PDF files and old reports just doesn't keep us ready on the fly. So we're going from the PDF on the left to something more on the right, which is the same data points, it just tells a different story, broken down in different ways. Up to this point, does anybody have any questions? Okay. So just a quick caveat, one case use or a use case of success is that we've been using some of these dashboards on a limited basis, and now more and more departments and units on campus are coming and saying, hey, wait, we have multiple data from different sources. How can we and should we do the same thing? And so they're asking those questions of should we invest in buying Tableau desktop and things like that? And so my answer is yes, and get started by going to the analytics team, and they'll get you started and join the community of Tableau users at the university. So I'm going to switch over, and at my Tableau at the conference presentation, this is where I messed up, and had a big faux pas, but let's hope this works. I'm going to do a quick demo. So earlier in the introduction, somebody in the audience mentioned wanting to learn strategies of how to get people to use Tableau and use the information that you build in it better. Oh, and see, it's not working properly. You're not seeing what I'm seeing. So.
Thank you for giving us the authentic conference experience.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, that's except there I had to call tech support, and then I was mic'd because they were recording it, and she yelled at me and told me to turn my mic off, and it was just a nightmare. But anyhow. So where was it? Oh, yeah, how to get people to actually use it and do things and use the information. At the university, we have Tableau Server, so we have multiple users, multiple folders, and different people access different pockets of data in different ways. The data portal that we're forming is one in which anyone at the institution with a user login should be able to access and get that information. It's information that we want faculty to be able to see because it's about their grants and contracts. We want deans to be able to see the same things. And so we're making a public, more internal data portal for them. And so one thing that I find, even when I go into the server myself, is not knowing where to find things. And so with this data portal, because it's a subset of data and information that the university has, on our website where we would have links to our data, right now it's all in PDF format, and you might click to a page and there's multiple PDFs. Well, now when you click on that page where it says grants and contract data, it's going to automatically come here to this Tableau login page. Now we will have a public version where you'll see where we've vetted the data and some information is available for the public, for journalists or the legislature to be able to see and find. But basically, to avoid having them to log into server and like have multiple folders to find things, they'll come here. And let's hope this works. So they'll come here, and instead of logging in and getting the usual Tableau server experience that we have with different folders and multiple things, I've created a dashboard that is basically a fake or a table of contents. So they come here, and it doesn't have all of the links on the top and things like that, because what they're looking for is grants and contract data, and that's all right here. And so this still isn't finalized. I'm going to make some changes on it of the order. We haven't launched it publicly yet. But this is where they will come, and then they're able to click on any of these buttons and get the various dashboards that we've created. And so, so now they'll have better access to real-time data, and this is as of July 1, so this is not live data because I didn't update it for the presentation. But they're able to get the same information that was on that PDF file, but in a different way. So here we have the top, instead of having to figure out from that PDF file which is the top units, who is bringing in the most money, we can now see it in a quicker format, and we can add those as, you know, the tooltips that you scroll over it and can add context to it. Some of these aren't live, so I forget which ones are. What we're also able to do is now give more reporting capabilities out to the campus community. So because we have a homegrown system that one office manages, only a limited number of people have access to the actual data, all the data. And so a lot of times it's difficult for college users, college grant officers to get their data and information that they need. So now with the power of Tableau, you know, we can easily add in all these filters where we can quickly include the filter or parameter, depending on how you build it, and the data automatically changes and updates for what they need to see. I'm going to quickly go over to our expenditure table of contents real quick. So some of the other things that I've created in here are visualizations. so using the same information that was on those PDF files, we're able to visualize the data in different ways to help them make their decisions better. So for instance, in this visualization here, we've plotted our FY15 R&D expenditures on the x-axis and then their 3-year compound growth rate on the y. And it really shows us which departments and units are growing exponentially and those that are having some issues or problems. Or it may be that that unit is not really a research unit, so it would be down there in the lower area. But it helps us visualize the data and information in a different way, right? We can see that a lot of these departments down here in the lower quadrant, while they're decreasing, their expenditures are in the average expenditure for the entire college. So maybe that's, you know, an okay thing for them. And so it's really, when you put data and information outside of just standard tables